What is up, JM? Good afternoon. How are we doing? I am coming in from the in-laws place, mixing it up a little. Actually, in the baby's room. Got a little crib to my side, give me a little, I don't know, a little anxiety. No kids of my own, only the puppy. But being in this room, I feel like there's just too much baby stuff, but that's okay. How are we doing? Put it in the chat. I don't know who saw on Twitter, but we might get a little crazy today. We are at over 80% for the big board. That means usually when these things hit 90, you start getting FOMO. People are like, holy crap, I need to hurry up, get some in. I want to take advantage of the uniqueness. I want to take advantage of maybe some stacks I haven't been getting, some news that just came out. This thing is going to fly. And what better time than for us to maybe even draft two at a time? Get a little two-banger? Up to you, chat. Let me know. Throw it in chat now. If you want me to do one, I'll do one. We'll make it traditional. We'll get a little more calm, a little more time to talk through some of the latest moves, think about uniqueness, all of that. But if you want us to do two, if you want me to do two, then you jump in the lobby. That means you're also taking advantage of that sweet, sweet streamer EV that I'm obviously giving up, that I'm so bad on these streamer drafts we know from my data last year. And now I may have to do two at the same time. Up to you all. Put in the chat. Let me know. To start things off, though, let's hop on in. We will jump in one, and then you guys can decide whether or not we'll jump in another. So good to see you all. Let's start it off. We're going to go all the way to the right. Look at them. They are hiding it, trying to get it to slow down because what? The draft is now about 2 weeks away, I would say. Off the top of my head, guess. Maybe about that. I know we had Ohio State Pro Day today, a little JSN. We got a lot of teams, a lot of deep stacks, and those teams going to visit that one today to watch CJ Stroud, watch JSN. JSN ran a 4.53, which very, very solid. I think not going to hurt him at all, which was most important thing. May have been even a couple hundreds of a second faster than people were kind of expecting. Good on him. Okay, I'm entering. What? I'm not using a VPN proxy. I'm in Florida. I'm Miami. Pleased to see. I'm not using a proxy. Hi. Doubt it's because I have a draft going on my phone right now that I literally have the 20th pick that I just made, but we can X out of Underdog on the phone. Let's try this again. I'm not using a VPN or a proxy. This is very weird. Let's X out. Let's see if we can get this fixed. I really don't know what to say here. Underdog. If we got any Underdog in chat, Rudman, I don't know. Let me know. We're just gonna keep trying. VPN detected. I don't have a VPN. This is silly. Let me try in a different browser. Let's go. All right. It seems you're currently using a VPN or proxy. Please disable this service to proceed. If you believe this is a mistake, please reach out to support. Okay, this can make for a very fun stream. I'm gonna give a quick DM to Rudman. Let's see if he is around. See if he responds. Enter from your phone and reopen. Ooh, DC Fantasy is sharp. DC Fantasy is sharp. I didn't even think about that. Well done. Yeah. I mean, I literally just finished a draft, so I am going to do that. Let me know, chat. Should I be entering one? Should I be entering two of these? All right, I'm in one. We're at 7 more to start. I'm seeing people voting for 2. Just told support to DM you. Okay, thank you, Redmond, for the quick, but I can let him know that sharp DC Fantasy got it solved. All right, we have entered one. That is filled. I'm entering a second right now. If you want to join it again. That one now has 10 more to start. We will get 2 of these going. two at the same time. Present. All right, let's get this. All right, cool. Oh, we want to go through. So let's just go for a quick look because we got some time out. 126, 24, 22 after this. My guess is this fills probably near the end of next week. I'll definitely try to get this full at the 150. But for now, first one is full. Second one, 5 of 12. Jump on in. Let's see if anybody has the chutzpah to draft in 2 against me at the same time. We won't tell anyone, DC. We won't tell anyone. It's okay. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm in Florida. I'm not using a proxy, no VPN. That's silly. I'm curious what it is picking up, though. But it sounds like that may have just happened at Tommy, too. So maybe some tech glitches going on their side. But I see Michael. I see Peabody giving me the 2. Easter Bunny gave a just 1, but a question mark. Only a question mark there. Seems like 2 is the play. Easter Bunny duped into 2 drafts. Damn. All right. We got 6 more to start in the other. Come on in, join. Water is warm. Let's blow this up a bit. You all can see. Okay, things are calming down a little. What's some of the news that has been happening most recently? Any questions you guys have? Any things that you think extra kind of, we want to discuss? Obviously, it has not been nearly as crazy as last week with the free agency news. I feel like a couple things were kind of hitting. Levitan and Silva have been putting out some pods. So if you haven't been kind of, paying attention to the podcast network or your app, definitely check those out. They put out one with regards to kind of discussing some of the free agency moves last week, talked a little about Underdog, some ADP stuff. And then I think just yesterday put out another one that were the top 5 winners of the free agency as well. Lots of fantasy implication there. Definitely dive in. We're going to go with AJ Brown here. I actually, so I've had AJ Brown a little behind some of these other guys for a bit. I definitely had him behind Jonathan Taylor. Part of that's because I really don't think there's that much of a difference between AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. I don't usually want to grab Jalen Hurts, and if you're grabbing AJ Brown to get your stack partner, you kind of have to reach for the Jalen Hurts. So those have been 2 things that have kind of scared me a little away from AJ Brown compared to some of these other guys. But more I consider, thinking about these Eagles, how bad the defense has gotten from this past year. They're still going to be fine, but they went from arguably one of the top defenses last year. Their defense just turned, pretty much played a complementary role, played a major role in getting those shutouts that you only needed some of this offense to really work for a half a game to 3 quarters. That's just not going to happen next year. And so it's part of the reason why, I had been stacking up a decent amount on Goddard because he was a little cheaper than what we were saying. I loved getting Devonta at that end of the second, beginning of the third aspect. But it probably makes sense for me to just bite the bullet on some of these more expensive because I do think AJ Brown's pretty expensive for where he's going. But when you look at CeeDee Lamb, they brought in Brandon Cooks. Devontae Adams, they brought in Jimmy G. Those guys, their value hurt a little. And then we look at even the running back. I was taking Jonathan Taylor ahead of him. But Jonathan Taylor, everything's pointing to that offense is not going to be good. That quarterback situation, is it going to be Anthony Richardson? Is it going to be Will Levis? I don't know. It's going to be ugly. And the offensive line is not as good as it was 2 years ago. Little nudge down for him. And so by result, when I'm a little more bullish on the Eagles offense, but a little negative on those players, I moved them down a little and just kind of moved AJ Brown up a little. Brings him back to ADP. We'll see what this draft looks like here. So Hurts is at 21. really hard not to, like, Jonathan Taylor and Sake. Oh, okay. I can't pass up Jonathan Taylor here. This is just a great uniqueness aspect. Very rarely you're going to get these two guys in the same draft. If we weren't going to get, okay, second draft is live too. We will pull that up. Let's get that going in another tab. But no, I can't do another. Yeah, I can do another tab. I'll just have to share my entire screen. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, if I wasn't going to go Jonathan Taylor, I was considering, like, do we go with Devonta Smith and then hope that Hurts falls after that? I think that, it's a bit of a reach, like expecting Hurts to fall all the way to 32. But like, you're still at least getting the Devontae Brown. I don't know. I think that's probably what we've gone with and hope for the best, but very happy again, Jonathan Taylor, and starting off with a very unique structure. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can share my entire screen. If I share my entire screen, I apologize in advance. What this means is I am not going, though, to be able to pay too much attention to chat, because if I do, this is what you're seeing. Just the forever abyss of chat. So I will be able to easily flip between these two screens once I can figure out. I always get a little confused. All right, here we go. We can flip through these two easily, and we are going to be in speed mode, just going back and forth. We got the 7 pick and the 11. 7 pick and it's over here, the 8 pick. So we are in the middle for both. Means no break. Always going to be picking. Let's at least grab something different here, so we get a little uniqueness there. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. I guess I could do this and then I can respond to chat and talk to you guys. At least I'll do it maybe very quickly so I can see what's going on for comments, but then I'll try to get out of it so you guys aren't going crazy with that forever best. But yeah, Rojo to Dallas. I'm not going to call out anyone on Twitter. At least I'm not going to call them out here. But like, I saw comments where it was like, oh, Rojo to Dallas. Like, oh, that sucks for Pollard owners. Like, come on. I know no one in this community, no one who's paying attention to ETR, no one who's actually, like, tuned into DFS and fantasy over the last year or two believes that Rojo actually hurts Pollard at all. It is, in my mind, a amazing signing for Tony Pollard. I mean, what does it do? It gives us confidence, like, okay, that they're more unlikely to go and try to draft Bijan Robinson or really spend go sign, like, I'm going to say marquee free agent, but like most of those are gone. I think Kareem Hunt is the best free agent running back still available. I think you can consider Dalvin Cook as like a possibility from a trade standpoint, or a cut candidate. But like, I think Minnesota would have cut Dalvin 2 or 3 days ago, because I think they would have saved $2 million if they cut him 2 or 3 days ago. So I mean, like, all signs are pointing towards that. Like, the Cowboys are going to have Tony Pollard. Maybe you have a little Rojo. Maybe they draft a late rookie or something, but nothing that scares me from a Pollard standpoint. And for me with Pollard, like, I have no problem if you want to give Rojo or anyone else the ball, 7, 10 times during the game between the 20s. Like, that doesn't matter. That's not why we're drafting Pollard. All I care about previously with Pollard was that he was going to play a major role in the passing game. That by itself got him to be like a top 12 running back or something. And now you give him the opportunity to potentially get those goal line touches, the red zone carries, and now his value is shooting up to where we have him at like RB6 or 7, something like that. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right, we are 1 pick away over here. Coming back, we started off with that Diggs. I don't love Eckler. You guys know I am not on Team Eckler. It is such a risky pick. It's pretty strong value, though, when you look at what's been happening the rest of the draft. Like, I don't think we can pass it just from getting a Diggs and an... Okay, does not go there. We are on the clock on both of them. Let's grab Waddle here. We'll go wide receiver. We're back here. Josh Jacobs, the last of this tier of running backs. Lock it in. Coming back over, Jalen Waddle, lock it in, going wide receiver, start. Do not tell me that I have too much T. This is a low T. We're going wide receiver, Diggs and Waddle. Josh Allen is still available. Highly unlikely he falls to us, but we'll put it in the queue just in case. Most likely we'll end up with a Tua. See how things play out there. One of these drafts needs to slow down. One of them needs to pick up because as it's going right now, they are just pacing towards, I'm just visioning the draft board where like it's coming around and we're picking at the same time again. And it's coming around and picking at the same time again. We'll go back. Let's show these draft boards as things go through. All right, taking a look. Still QBs still going in that late second area. If you look from a stack standpoint, we got Mahomes went with the Kelsey. Allen did not go with Diggs. They went with Garrett Wilson. Jalen Hurts went with CMC. Did not go with the A.J. Brown aspect. When you get someone reaching, it just seems like so often someone is reaching that it's very, very difficult to get that stack in the third. It's happened. I think I just saw on Twitter today, I think it was SMW 88 showing that he had the A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts stack, and I think had to get Jalen Hurts here 31. So it was like an A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts. It's tough. It's tough. There are not going to be many of those, but even if you get it, it's still devoting a ton of draft capital to one team. But the Eagles are I probably have more confidence in the Eagles reaching that top 1% outcome than probably any of the other teams. Okay. We're back one pick away. We've got two running backs, wide receiver. Little bit of a dead spot here. ETN falling, but I am not high on ETN, and we do have our two running backs, so we're not going to go with ETN. Could go with Mark Andrews at about ADP. That's what we have as best overall pick. Lamar really sounds like he's out, but like we also know Tyler Huntley's still, is pretty strong there. If we think about anything from stat, and we're obviously on the board for the other two. So let's start with the Mark Andrews here. I think it makes sense. Let's just go with that best player available. Maybe we get a falling Lamar. Coming back over here, we've got our two wide receivers. Let's grab Chubb, get ourselves a running back. I like Ramondre a lot this year too, but I've got a heavy bags of him just because of how late he is going comparative to the other running backs. So let's grab Chubb. No real stat consideration for it. That would tilt it one way or the other. Let's head back. What is chat? Anything going on with chat? Seeing what's going on. Yeah, agreed, DFS Patriot. I mean, gives us just more confidence that they're not going to spend the capital. Okay. Interesting. Good to know. That makes sense. So anything is still in play with Dalvin. If you look at our rankings, we are pretty bullish on Madison. Got Madison, I want to say a round or so before where he's going. And a lot of that is because if Dalvin comes back and is the guy, is like, the similar Dalvin that we've seen before, Madison still would be going like in that, 140 range, 140. I feel like 144 is where he was like the last year or two. And that's when Dalvin was a year younger and we were expecting a lot more from Dalvin. So now we're really unsure on the Dalvin. They brought back Madison. And like, we're only taking him a round earlier than we did last year. Like, I think there's just substantial upside there that makes it sense to kind of be drafting him where it's a low risk scenario with substantial upside if he actually plays his way, Dalvin injury, or starts off as the guy in Minnesota. And hey, no Thielen means maybe a few more, another target or two a game, maybe another red zone rep or something that the running backs get instead of, Thielen's number one thing was scoring touchdowns. So it plays a role. All right, flying back. Let's take a look at the board. I'm honestly trying to be like, which pick's going to come up first? And it's literally just each time is coming up to the exact same time. Just great for considerations and for streaming. Okay. Thinking through from a QB standpoint, obviously we're not getting Jalen. Lamar did just go. Curious where Lamar went. Lamar went 47, about his current ADP. We've got one pick in front of us, a couple running backs. some QBs that we're not correlated with and we don't love. Some wide receivers. Maybe we go with the JMO here. Let's go with the JMO. Not the highest on JMO. I think like he's being drafted a little too high here. But we'll take it. I just don't love anything else there with what we have on a team wise. And we do need a wide receiver here. So let's grab JMO. We're going to come back here. We are, oh my God, we're not in the clock. We actually have a pick in between. Lucky us. All right. We're going to get placed with another Mark Andrews. Going with 2 Mark Andrews teams. I mean, it's very plausible. Diggs, Waddle, Chubb. Nothing jumps out here. Let's see what V. Stevens goes with Andrews. We can go with the DJ Moore, play a little of the ADP game. I'm not the most bullish on that, but I really just don't love this area of the wide receivers. But let's grab DJ Moore. I've really slowed down on taking him after the trade because he did just get pretty steamed up. Yeah, we'll just go with DJ Moore. We'll take that third wide receiver here. We timed out, but we ended up with him. Okay. I think, if Andrews fell to us, I think we would have taken him again and just, again, played the same game of hoping that Lamar fell to us. But I don't know. It's probably a fool's errand with the whole Lamar situation because, like, all the latest that came out of camp, which I thought was maybe yesterday, is where Lamar, like, A, says he's kind of done with Baltimore. 2, isn't even requiring or asking or whatever it is a fully guaranteed contract. So, like, if that's the case, and I think the expectation was, like, teams were not willing to play ball, send an offer, because they expected, they were hearing, he told them, who knows, that, like, he wanted a fully guaranteed. And if that was the case, like, whether it was collusion or whether it was just kind of unwritten, every team was like, nah, F that, I ain't playing for this, we're not changing the rules. It is what it is. But, like, we're not there anymore if he really isn't requiring a fully guaranteed contract. And so, like, yes, giving up the 2 first-round draft picks is still a lot. But if you have the opportunity to bring in Lamar, sign him to a long contract, like, you have to at least give it a try. Okay. Herbert uncorrelated to some ADP value. Gibbs, we'd like his best available, but we're staying away from running backs. We could go with the Dallas Goedert and say, like, hey, we're still investing in the Philly offense. There's no Keenan Allen. There's no, let's go with Dallas Goedert. And we're just saying, hey, we're still making this bet on the Eagles offense, even though we didn't spend up for Dallas Goedert. Considered Herbert just from an ADP value, but, like, you don't have Mike Williams. You don't have Keenan Allen. We don't know who the tight end is. And I don't really love getting Josh Palmer on my team. So kind of just passing on that. From a Gibbs standpoint, still love Gibbs. Still think Gibbs, like, because his pass catching role, can play a very valuable fantasy role in the NFL. But for this structure, I mean, we've got 2 guys that theoretically could be top 5 running backs. Obviously, we've seen it on JT, and we saw Josh Jacobs last year. Reasons to believe the same thing will happen this year. And so when we're investing so much in that, I don't want to touch running backs for a long time, especially in this format. Oh my God, we already have Mark Andrews. I forgot. I think I mixed it up and I was thinking this team, or I didn't look. There you go. There's the 2 drafts at one time value. You guys in chat probably saw it if I didn't beforehand. Oh, not the smartest. That's okay. We are going bully tight end. We will make it work. And look at this. Lamar is going to fall to either the pick before us or to the pick of us. If our Andrews could have fallen there, could have gotten, even though, again, I just talked on a while for why that's not going to happen. So it's fine. Let's do naked Lamar. Why not? I mean, like, unless we really believe he's not going to play, like I mentioned in previous shows, like, why I think there's some risk here, especially with Baltimore. But, like, if he's not with Baltimore, we actually like the situation a lot more because I think there's just less, if he can actually get a contract, there's a lot more likelihood he's willing to play through the actual season into the fantasy playoffs and so forth. And he's the kind of guy where you don't need to have that perfect stack partner. He can get there on his own. So, okay, still a little flustered on grabbing that second tight end here in Dallas Goedert. Who should we have gone? Maybe just the value on Justin Herbert with the naked aspect, but I still don't love it. Would have been that or grabbing one of these wide receivers. Oh, just Uggs. Ugh. All right, let's bring it on back. We're got heavy in the running backs going here. This is an interesting area of the board where, like, hey, if you're not investing early in the wide receivers, I mean, in the running backs, and you just want to, kind of grab 2 here, even 3 if you expand the range a little. I mean, we have David Montgomery a lot higher than where he's going. Just the amount they spent on him from a capital standpoint, what we saw Jamal Williams do. And no, he's not going to get 14 touchdowns because so many of them came from the 1-yard line last year. Look at that value on Justin Herbert. Did you at least didn't get a stack either, but yeah, can't pass up that value. I agree. I would have snagged him too, Cormer. Good grab there. Let's go back to our team. We really need some wide receivers. We are light on wide receivers. This part of the draft for wide receivers gets a little ugly too. 89, 87. Let's grab Brandon Cooks here. See, maybe we can get Dak to fall to us and get a little of this new Dallas stack. If it doesn't fall to us, we're not really losing that much value from like a, Jordan Addison, Brandon Cooks, kind of a coin flip by ADP by most measures. Maybe we're overspending by a round based off where his traditional ADP has been for most of this tournament. But I'm still okay with it. And we'll see if Dak can fall to us. Let's go back here. Okay, we are 3 picks away. We do not have our tight end. We went with naked Lamar. This is an area where we may, look at all those tight ends. We can grab a tight end. We do not have one yet. Good to keep in mind. Kyle Pitts and Lamar was such a kind of sexy hope, a sexy wish or something. Look at Demo going quite above the ADP, using those ETR ranks to get up there. But I don't know. Like, is Atlanta still in play? Atlanta's got too good of a team this year to really tank for Caleb. Now, yes, they just brought in Taylor Heineke to compete. Was it Taylor Heineke? Trying to get my teams right. To compete with Desmond Ridder. Could they still make a move for Lamar? They were very vocal that they did not want Lamar as soon as, it was minutes after everything opened. Okay, we are grabbing an ADP value here in Kittle for a position of need with George Kittle. I'm happy with it there. Maybe San Francisco does something crazy. Ooh, Trey Lance and some for Lamar. Come on, Baltimore. Come on, San Francisco. Make that happen. That would be fun. Loose ends. CeeDee Lamb stack. Okay. We fight on. We got 15 seconds. Let's look at our team. We still need wide receivers. Let's grab Cortland Sutton at the top. Definitely a bit of a teardrop coming up with Cortland Sutton. I'm still bullish on Cortland Sutton as long as he's healthy. The reports coming out of that Denver camp with regard to Judy, with regard to Sutton, it just seems like everyone's name is getting thrown out. I'm really not sure what to believe. But honestly, any trade that happens would be a plus for Cortland Sutton as long as he's healthy. As long as they're not, they know something about it. But even then, most likely it would show up in kind of the physicals aspect. So any trade there is either a team that highly, prefers him, pushes him in the offense, could become that 1 or at least a 2 on a strong offense. That's a good thing. Or Judy goes and now he becomes more a focal part of it. So I'm still bullish on Cortland Sutton as long as that injury is not as major, not lingering, I guess would be the ring. Okay. Got a little break here. Got a few picks in between. Let's head on over to chat what we've been doing. All right, checking up. What's your exposures look like this year? Honestly, the best way to get a guess on my exposures would be just taking a look at the ETR ranks. And where I am over, where the ETR ranks are over, I am probably over, and under, vice versa. Probably, I kind of trying to think like when I've done it. I'll probably like, if I get a chance, once this is over, I'll kind of, once the tournament ends, I'll probably just post some of my exposures there. Maybe Leonie and I will do a pod. I know we're talking about doing the Establish the Edge, where we could talk through like, hey, what my early exposures look like, and how kind of reacting there. But I can't do it right now. I'm already multi-drafting and not doing that well. So I'm not going to go check out the exposures now, but definitely something we can chat through. And I like to post them on Twitter and such and get some discussion going. We are light on running back. We're strong at wide receiver. We're light on running back. This feels like a good time. Javonte, Mixon, Dobbins. We do have the Lamar. We could go Lamar, Dobbins. Yeah, let's just make a bet. Who knows? Like, there's probably some sneaky correlation aspects to this, where even if Lamar leaves, maybe they run more. Lamar stays. The offense is better as a whole. I don't, it's an ADP standpoint. I don't feel that much better about like Mixon than him. So we'll grab Dobbins there as our RB2. Dobbins and Chubb, basically the same players from a running back standpoint. Oh, yeah. Love getting guys who aren't catching the balls running back. Hope everyone reads into my absolute sincerity here. All right. Do we want to start considering QB here? We got Russ is the only QB that I'd really be thinking about in this next round or two. Again, we do not need running back. We are still light on the wide receiver standpoint. Better in best ball, Jalen Hyatt, DPJ. Not really looking at much from a stacking standpoint. All right, we'll grab DPJ there. Yeah, Hyatt's just been dropping. Felt like it was a bit too much of a reach to kind of grab Hyatt at that spot. I know that wide receivers have been going a little more in this draft, which is why you kind of have to reach a little bit, but I didn't want to reach an entire round for Hyatt with the way he's been drafted. He's been dropping since the combine. Why has he been dropping? He's been dropping because we expected, he's a speedster. He's a burner over the top. We expect him to kind of get you that big play, the deep ball. But then he comes in and he doesn't actually run that fast of a 40. Yeah, I think it was still a 4.4 or something. But we expected him to be in those 4.3s, like those true burner standpoint. Does actually a tenth of a second really matter in game speed? I don't know. Probably not. But like that's, it matters a little. And that's why he's been dropping a bit. Okay. We're just going to keep the Baltimore going and believe that Lamar figures it out. We got Dobbins. We got Bateman. If Bateman ends up getting sniped by one of these two, then we probably go with Algier. Yeah, we'll probably go with Tyler here. Or if Bateman ends up getting sniped. Let's go back here. We're in 2 picks. Okay, we're back. We can grab Bateman. Did not expect to be going with the Baltimore stack, especially when we literally missed the Andrews 1-by-1 pick. Now we're back here. This is our 2 tight end build. Lots of wide receivers, strong running backs. We are getting to a place where we maybe want to consider QB. Oh, Jim Goober sniping Russ very early. Cousins does us nothing. Wide receivers, a Hyatt, a Jones. We can grab the Hyatt here. Maybe we go with Kamara. Let's grab Kamara. This feels like a decent time to grab our 3rd running back. We don't need Kamara every game this year. We know that Jamal Williams is going to eat into Kamara's play. But like, one thing we're not talking about, like I know there's a lot of negatives about Alvin Kamara with the court situation, with Jamal Williams coming in, with him being 28 now, at least a year older than last year. Good analysis there. But one thing we're kind of ignoring is that like with Derek Carr as his quarterback, we may get that offense that like from 2 years ago where Kamara was catching just an inordinate amount of passes. Like, yes, there is Olave. Yes, Michael Thomas is back. Yes, Rashid Shaheed still maybe earns a larger role, but like we're back to actually having a legitimate quarterback, one that we know has a history of passing to running backs. So like I do think we are kind of ignoring the upside scenario of Alvin Kamara because of all the risks. And there's probably some, hey, we're double counting, triple counting all these risks that exist with Kamara. It is what it is. And Zach Morris grabs Tua, was considering Tua with the Waddle stack, but I didn't feel that great about it because we've already invested in the Lamar aspect. Other spots that were kind of in a bit more of a need. Okay, running back is probably where we want to go here with a Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert, Deonta Foreman. Yes, it's not the perfect situation for Herbert, but like not scared of Deonta Foreman. If there's going to be pass catcher, it's going to be Herbert. It's a team that still loves to run. Maybe they run a little less. We have DJ Moore, so it's an investment in the entire offense a bit. Considering we could go with Jacoby Alvin again. Let's grab Herbert. I'm good with it. Okay, what's going on, chat? Yeah, it seems like paying the premium for Goddard as good as ADP. Brown and Smith are elites at wide receiver, plus Hurts is stealing short yardage TDs. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. All right. I don't know. Okay, it took me a second to realize what you're saying, but no, for me with Goddard, it's more of just a good pass catching tight end on an elite offense has season-breaking and game-breaking upside. And that's what I'm looking for in the tight end position. You would not at all be shocked if there's, a playoff game that Goddard ends up scoring 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has the talent profile. He has the role in that offense, and the offense can easily put up 45, 50 points or something. There's not that many tight ends that have that kind of upside. And especially, then he's being drafted where 6th round. So that's what I love about the Goddard situation. And I'll keep buying. All right, we're back at QB. Detroit, Seattle on the board. We could go with Goff to pair with JMO. I don't really have much Goff. I don't really love Goff, but hey, we're getting a round of value and a stack and a positional need. This is a easy pick. Okay, coming back. Let's do a quick refresh here. We've got the Baltimore stack going strong with Kittle. Could potentially go with a Trey Lance if he falls because we're getting that SF standpoint. So let's put him in the queue for now. No Minnesota aspect, no Kirk. We could still go with another running back. We've got the Robinson, Madison, Dillon. Too strongly of one of those versus the other. Robinson a little just because of what we saw from how that offense wanted to use him last year. Then you got Hayden Wings who's tweeting out, Brandon Ayuk, fair snipe. All right, let's grab the Brian Robinson. Even though, Hayden Wings was talking, and it's kind of just speculating, but like maybe Washington goes for Bijan. With their love for running backs and how they want to build their game, it wouldn't shock me. But they also do have Brian Robinson, Gibson. Does not feel like they have the luxury to kind of waste it on another running back where the rest of their team is right now. Okay, we'll grab Brian Robinson, gives us a 4th running back on that team. Coming back around. Let me start looking, just getting my head set around some Lions late. There are no lines. That is insane. How long has it been that like all the lines are going, 16, 56, 89, 68, high. There is definitely an opportunity for a third kind of tight end, a third wide receiver or tight end to kind of shine in this offense. But it's tough pickings to figure out who it would be. And Detroit trading away Hawkinson. Maybe they go and draft like a Michael Mayer in this draft to replace him. But I also think it's more indicative that like they just don't feel the need to have a strong pass catching tight end on their team. Maybe they're just okay with Brock Wright. Do we want to grab a second quarterback here? We have Kamara with Derek Carr. This feels like a decent pick right here. we could maybe throw in like a Rashid Shaheed in a round. We are not going to win the sexy QB competition with having Jared Goff and Derek Carr, but maybe enough to get the job done with the rest of the talent in our team. Let's go back to this draft. Quick chat. Fair enough. All right. Cheers, Al Paul. Cheers. All right. I'm going to take a quick sip. 2 picks away. All right. From a Baltimore stack, I can't think of much we're looking for here the rest of the way. Maybe Isaiah Lake, likely late. But until then, looking elsewhere for stacks and correlation and filling out. Okay, we just put a lot into the running back position. I don't think we need to jump into this zone here. You do have some QBs falling, but nothing from a stack consideration for us. We strong on wide receivers. We don't have many of them. Let's grab Tyler Boyd here. Gives us a solid, another wide receiver. Trying to think through this team. Where maybe do we want to kind of focus our efforts? I think we can consider maybe, I was going to say CJ Stroud for a second, but nope, that's Chicago. DJ Morgan. Yeah, no real stack options with what we have still on the team. So maybe we can consider how we could grab a QB and then some late partners. Or might I'm just having a couple, another naked QB or two on this team. So where are we in picks? We've got a few there. It's going to come right back around in the middle again. The fun of having the 7 and 8 while drafting twice. Running backs. This is so thinking from what the team's going to look like. I think we can probably. It's funny. Even when I end up with like an elite QB and elite tight end on these teams, and to be fair, I wouldn't call any of these the like first tier. First tier of QBs is probably those 3. First tier of tight ends is really just Kelsey. When I have these guys, I still feel like I end up with the 3 QB, 3 tight end build for these 20-round drafts because there's just so much value late at both those positions. More so the tight end, but QB in kind of the mid-late rounds, tight ends at the very end. And it allows me then to just kind of devote the other 14 draft picks to the running back wide receiver. Looking at this, it'll probably end up being a 6-8, although it could be a 7-7 between the 2 middle ones. We'll keep an eye on that, but it depends where we devote capital for the rest of these picks. Dawson Knox is falling value. We do have Diggs. That's a little tempting as just kind of a bet on Buffalo. Josh Downs falling too isn't bad. Let's grab Dawson Knox because if we have that Stephon Diggs, and I'm okay with kind of making bets on elite offenses where I didn't grab the QB because he was very expensive. And on this team, we're up. Here we go. Let's go, my man. Do we want to do that? Yeah, we want Devon over Foreman. Okay, we needed a running back. Time was almost up there. Let's grab our QB. Let's grab another running back. I like this running back core. Probably end up with 1 more running back to fill out this team. No more tight ends. Definitely another quarterback. Good to keep in mind. 7 picks away there. 11 picks here. All right, we will now focus our attention again back on this draft. All right, from a QB standpoint, a lot of QBs are available here. Bryce Young, most likely going to end up in Houston. No real stack options there. Could be Carolina, but not considering either of those. You got some later. The decent amount for Bryce Young, though, is you can stack him later with someone like Nico Collins, John Mechie, or if you think it's Carolina, Terrace Marshall, Laviska Shenault. I think even Thielen is still available. So like options, but then same thing with the CJ Stroud, and more likely CJ Stroud ends up in Carolina. There goes Bryce as we talk about it. Probably just kind of a best available kind of situation there with a little ADP value. There goes Thielen. Jimmy G, bit of a reach. I'm guessing he's got some stacks going. He's got Devontae, Jacoby Myers. Definitely want to make sure that he got his QB there. Completely fair. Going back to our team, we do not have any Pitt either, so we're not going to grab Pickett. Anthony Richardson at this place, I do not mind. What does our team look like? No, maybe this is actually a great Anthony Richardson spot, where we've got two very consistent guys, and now we're hoping for some upside in those final rounds. No, we don't have Indy, but like also we don't know where Anthony Richardson is going to end up. So I think this is a great spot. Hey, mid 14th round. Yeah, this is the kind of perfect spot in my mind where you draft. Oh, and we got Jonathan Taylor. Maybe that ends up actually working out really well. Goff and Carr, good enough, steady enough, keep us going. Anthony Richardson comes in for the playoffs and just pew, 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 we're flying. Let's go back to the next play. 2 picks away. Team no tight end. I wish I could kind of like just say like, hey, I don't want your tight ends. I could do this, but like I can still get auto drafted tight end. That's the only thing I don't like. But at least they're out of our view. We are not. Oh, we could still touch tight end. We're not touching tight end probably until like round 19 or 20 on this team. We're kind of looking for best available in this situation. QB, could go with the Bryce Young. Chicago, Washington. There's really just no stack aspects here. We could go with the Gibson and kind of own that Washington backfield. I like that, especially when we kind of still need the running backs. Let's go with that. We get a little Robinson, Gibson ping pong aspect. And nothing else really jumps out as what we want to grab. All right, I feel pretty good about these 5 running backs now. I'm thinking maybe we stop with 6 and we'll grab one when we see a value the rest of the draft. And that would give us a 3, 6, 8, 3 tight end. So I'm thinking like around 20 tight end. Depending on value, we could always end up getting around 19 unique guy that hasn't been being drafted elsewhere. Or if we find a value, we snag it. QB, that's probably what I want to take a look at, because this is that pocket of the draft where you can still grab a decent one with upside. So we'll keep an eye there. Question coming up from Mr. Overbet. How are we doing? Should we have any concern with the Lions improving their defense, potentially less shootouts, playing from behind? I mean, like, even if they improve it a little, they improve it to what? Like league average? I don't know. I think like it's, for the most part, we shouldn't care about defense this far out unless it's one of the extremes. And we should just overall always expect that there's going to be a bit more regression to the mean. And so like when we were talking about the Eagles, we were thinking about it last year because it was such an extreme, because it was so good that they were able to blow out their opponents. Assume now there's more regression to the mean, especially with the offseason moves and the cap hits they've had to take. So like we're expecting more average, which then is great for their offense. I think with the Lions, again, like, yes, they were so bad. So like there were more shootouts. So yes, there's going to be some levels of regression. But I really don't think like, I don't know. I don't think like the Lions offense is now going to be, the defense is going to be so good that the Lions are now going to be able to just kind of manage the clock and control the game. So I would say it's a low concern. There's too much other things that we still like about that offense, the dome, the indoors, the way that they play, Jameson getting healthy, the talent aspect. So, oh no. The talking got us. Well, I think we found our 5th running back on that team. Big old Tank Bigsby. Okay. Here we were talking about QB. Let's see. CJ Stroud with Carolina. Possible. Go Stafford, but we have nothing with Stafford. Nothing with Pickett. Let's grab CJ Stroud, and we can probably grab some late Carolina guys. Or Houston, depending on what kind of plays out. Okay, so we grabbed Tank Bigsby. We did not expect that, but we kind of said we needed one more running back. We got a little ADP value. We got a round of ADP value on it. I don't hate it. Not probably what I would have done, but that's okay. We are done with running back. We are done with tight end. We are only doing wide receiver. Oh, and we're done with QB. So this is building out to be a 3-5-10-2 team, which is fine with our elite James, AJ Brown, and not drafting too many wide receivers after. So we are all wide receivers. So because we're using this structure, I'm at least going to just go down the ADP and just pew, pew, pew. Let's get rid of Kayshawn. I don't care. Your ADP is there. You shouldn't be there. Okay, now I can throw you back in. It gets ugly, but I don't know. I just want to do that just so, like, A, easy thinking wise, like, hey, this draft, all we're doing is wide receivers. B, if we end up getting that auto draft like I just got there, maybe auto draft tank is what you need in week 17. Very possible. I mean, I'm not against Tank Bigsby or anything like that. I just like to usually make my pick. All right. Chicago, Washington, Tim Patrick, Claypool, Samuel, Tim Patrick. Let's go Curtis Samuel. I'm just trying to think through, like, where could maybe Anthony Richardson get a stack partner? Maybe I could see a world where, like, Washington trades up or somehow he crazily falls and he falls back to them. But, like, could they trade up for him? Yeah, I guess that's possible. And so that's why I'll grab Curtis Samuel there, just for the maybe Richardson aspect. Marshall, John Mechie are other considerations where, like, I could see maybe they surprise us and they take Anthony Richardson 1 or 2 overall. So we'll keep an eye on those guys too, if they're still available at 200. But to be honest, I kind of doubt it. Okay, 175. Picking. We're picking. We've got strong wide receivers at the top end, but not many of them. We've got Lamar and most likely Carolina's CJ Stroud. You could definitely consider a Terrace Marshall here. Also, I think I was wrong. I did not get ADP value. I think I took Tank Bigsby a round ahead than ADP. So I did not get value there. Correct myself. We could go Kenny Pickett to get a third QB because after him, it gets really ugly. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett rather than the theoretical Terrace Marshall one, when I honestly think Terrace Marshall is being overdrafted. We wouldn't need, but we wanted a third QB on this team. Just as I mentioned, like almost always grabbing third QB when we have these 20 rounds. So let's grab Kenny Pickett at that value and good fit for us. Maybe Terrace falls to us. We'll see. Okay, we are going deep into the wide receiver bag today. Ladies, we need 4 more wide receivers. I'm trying to think through, like, if it makes sense to even consider another position. Like, honestly, JT, Josh Jacobs, Kamara, A-Chain, and Bigsby is pretty strong from a running back room. I really think we're just going to be going for flyers for wide receivers here, which, hey, this late in the draft, we know where their ADPs are. We can take some rookies that we just kind of hope, or maybe some, a few different flyers. From a stacking standpoint, it's really ugly. We'll throw in Josh and Khalif. From a Saints, Traquan Callaway, I'm not even touching. That's really bad. Richardson. So from a Colt standpoint, there's a recent trade with McKenzie that we could consider. I don't hate that. We're not going for the tight end. No thanks there. And then you have just anywhere else that Richardson really could end up, but it's hard to predict. Okay, we're coming back around. I know we're about to be up there, but just wanted to check back real quick. And then just from a general, like, let's just throw in guys that I'm going to go with Hardman to begin with. If Hardman can end up on a team with a, even in 3 wide slots, like, he has the ability to give you the big plays. Don't hate it. Okay, coming back around here. Wide receivers pretty ugly. We grabbed CJ Stroud, so maybe it's worth grabbing a Houston guy there with Mechie, and it is kind of a position of need. Could go Gesicki or Everett, because we do kind of need a tight end, but I mentioned again, I think it's more important to grab these wide receivers now. They're likely going to be at least in 2-3 wide sets, having an upside like Mechie because we kind of liked him coming out of the draft. It's pretty solid talent. Didn't get to see anything from him last year with the injury. Pretty easy to get playing time in Houston right now. Who are your favorites? Let me know if there's someone, a wide receiver that you think that you've been up on. Give me a shout out. Let me know why you like them. I'm going to throw LaVisca in here for the Anthony Richardson #1 overall situation, or maybe a trade down situation. Let me just get a lot of these wide receivers that are the rookies. Throw Deonta Hardy, the artist formerly known as Deontay Harris out of New Orleans, just signed with Buffalo. I mean, if you look at what he's done the past, like it wasn't great last year. We saw him having a little flash in 2021. Could he find himself in play? It seems like Buffalo's been trying to find themselves a gadget guy. We saw it with Nyheim Hines. I don't know what their thoughts are for Deontay Harris, but someone who hasn't been drafted in probably 80% of drafts thus far. Maybe I would guess like 90-some% of drafts thus far have not drafted him, but since we're 80% full, maybe he's going to end up being only drafted in like 10 to 15% of drafts. We'll see. Let's grab some guys. Van Jefferson. Okay with that. Okay. This isn't the worst spot to grab another running back. Really, a few guys here that still have some decent upside. Jerick McKinnon, if he stays with Kansas City and what we saw with him throughout the season. Zach Evans is a rookie. It really is just going to depend on that landing spot. I'm officially out on the Cordero for most this year, just another year older. Algier looked really good. Then there's a chance that they draft another running back. Maybe I'll be back in on Cordero if they don't draft or bring in another running back. But for now, I'm a little out. Let's grab Zach Evans. Give me that rookie upside. We have no rookies on this. There we go. Well, one rookie was Stroud. Well, let's throw in another rookie, Zach Evans. 3 more picks in this draft. 2 more picks in this draft. The sprint is coming to an end. We are coming to the finish line. Any other questions you all have in chat, throw them in. If you're watching the replay online, if you're watching the replay afterwards, you got a question, throw it in the comment section. Shoot me a DM on Twitter at Justin Herzig, and always happy to answer those. If I missed any today, my apologies. Throw it in chat again, and I can answer it again. Well, I can answer it for the first time if I missed it. Whew. So I'm going to end up getting around 25 or 30 in that March Madness pool. So it's been fun to follow along. I think my team is doing very poorly in that one. But whoever wins that, mention it on Twitter. If you missed this and you're not following me or not, have those notifications on, maybe you should do that. But mention that, hey, whoever wins that March Madness little pool that we got, I'm going to do a one-on-one draft with you of your choice. So if you want to do a BBM when it comes up, if you want to do a different one, whoever wins it, you will let me know, and we'll kind of just jump on a Zoom or something. And I'm just seeing on my phone that Leone tweeted a picture of us from this past weekend. Okay. Had a fun little golf weekend with Leone. That was good. That was a good time. Maybe you saw the milkshake picture. Show up. I'm just scatterbrained right now. I think I'm scatterbrained with this draft going back and forth, and my thoughts even there. But what I was going to say is, whoever wins the March Madness one will get to do a one-on-one draft with me. So that's going to be fun. We'll jump on like a little Google Hangout or something and draft a team of a tournament of your choice. And shout out Leone. Had a fun weekend. He came down, visited Tampa area. We played some golf. We went to Tiger's new place, Pop Stroke. It was a fun time. And for those who saw the picture online, we sit down to get some dinner, and Leone disappears for 10 minutes, comes back and just has this huge it was called like Peanut Butter Awesomeness or something, like a ridiculous name. And it had Reese's Pieces. It had Reese's. It had those peanut butter, those like Nutter Butters or whatever. It just so many, and it was huge. There was a guy in the background just like either in awe or despair or I don't know. It was funny. All right, we're gonna grab LaVisca because maybe that Anthony Richardson kind of correlation. We got one more pick coming. Make sure that was 19. Yeah, okay. We are back here. We are 6. We really need. Let's grab some wide receivers. I know it's an ugly spot to get wide receivers. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Not really. Can't really get too picky at this spot at this time. Let's grab Rashee Rice. Okay. Final pick coming up. Let's take a quick review of this team. Goff, Carr, and Anthony Richardson. Really am not that ever happy when I've got like Goff and Carr in my first 2 QBs, but I really think Richardson is a great complement to those. That's going to give us the upside we may need at the end of the season's fantasy playoffs from a running back. When you start JT and Josh Jacobs, you really don't want to invest too much in the running back position. I'm expecting for this team that those two are going to end up as like top 5, top 7 running backs, push my team, carry my team, to be honest, and then hoping for some spike weeks out of these guys, which, hey, because we plan on the tank one. But no, in sincerity, grabbing 2 rookie running backs for this kind of structure isn't the worst because we're expecting these guys are going to carry us through the regular season. For the final pick, let's grab Isaiah McKenzie. We get the Anthony Richardson, Isaiah McKenzie, probably a pretty unique stack just because of the trade that just happened. Who knows? Maybe McKenzie can find a solid role or at least just a solid playoffs to go with it. So that will be that. Wide receivers, we've got, count them, 10 wide receivers. We started off with A.J. Brown. After that, we honestly didn't devote that much early draft capital to wide receiver position because we oopsie-daisied ourselves into a second elite tight end. So we love our tight ends. I'd say we love our running backs and we love our tight ends. We're okay with our QBs. And I feel fine with wide receiver because we've got our one elite guy, and then we went heavy. These last 4 picks could be complete dust. That's one of the things you need to accept when you're, drafting so many in the 200 plus. But again, we still had 6 picks before that. So overall, I feel pretty decent about this. I kind of like this team. Yes, we made some mistakes, especially with this double draft here. The tank one, I'm not going to say that late of a pick, whatever. It's okay. We needed a running back. I'm going to give us a B minus in this draft. Put it in chat. What do you think? What would you rate this draft? Give me the hard truth. And as you're doing that, we're coming back here. We are at pick 19. We've got, let's go. It is almost time to start considering grabbing another tight end. Likely is gone. Just wanted to confirm that. Probably got gone a while ago. Maybe we should have considered him earlier. Probably missed out on that one. We got Zach Ertz. We got Hunter Henry. We got Luke Musgrave. Let's grab Hunter Henry. Yes, they grabbed Micah Gesicki. I don't think that really hurts Hunter Henry that much from the role that he plays, which is more kind of around the touchdown. As Josh Norris tells us, Micah Gesicki is a downfield vertical player. Hunter Henry can do more cuts, more around the line of scrimmage, more of a red zone threat. So we'll grab Hunter Henry as our 3rd tight end. We knew we were going to grab a tight end, either this one or the next one. So no harm in grabbing the guy that we like. Gives us a 3.673. I mentioned we would maybe go 3.773. We could go 3.683. Yes, we went Diggs, Waddle. We're expecting them to count in our lineup every week. I just don't. DJ Moore just scares me in that offense. I think he's going to have some big games, but I'm also kind of scared that there are going to be games where they just don't throw, and he's going to have like a 4 for 30 kind of line that scares me. Let's see what we can do at wide receiver, especially if we can, backdoor ourselves into any of these additional. Devin Duvernay. We don't really see many names out of Baltimore from a wide receiver standpoint. didn't even do much for us last year. Kind of scares me. So we'll do that with a grain of salt. I don't want to touch Calvin Austin or Steven Sims. From a CJ Stroud, we're looking at the Panthers. You got LaVisca. You got Shy. I'm going to shy away from Shy. Maybe he actually ends up in Houston instead. But Woods, Mechie, Collins, all obviously gone by now. You could go Noah Brown. No one's actually drafting him, so that could be a unique angle. From just guys kind of available. Again, I'll throw in the Deontay Hardy. Yeah, let's hold on to that right now. Like McKenzie is not unique because like when he was on Buffalo, he was actually getting drafted all the time. So it's not like you're getting some uniqueness there unless you believe you're getting like the stack like we did with Anthony Richardson. Not expecting CJ Stroud to go to Indy, so don't need to pick that one up. If we were going to do a running back, what would we be looking at? Maybe Jerome Ford. You could maybe guess on one of these Chargers and thoughts that Eckler's not there anymore. But if Eckler leaves, like I think they would draft a running back or make a trade for someone like a Dalvin or something. So not Dalvin just because the contract's really bad. Not great. Okay, let's go with LaVisca. CJ Stroud most likely is going to end up in Carolina. LaVisca gives us a little kind of playing time upside. I like it. 3-6-8-3. Let's do a quick review of this draft. We went heavy on the Baltimore correlation with Dobbins and Rashad Bateman. We got kind of like some tier 2, I'll call it QB, tier 2 QB tight end with Kittle. Heavy on the wide receivers early on. Great Diggs, Waddle. Kind of stinks that we weren't able to get to. I really wanted to go. I mean, Baltimore too would have been nice. We did get good value here on the Lamar. If Lamar ends up somewhere else, like who knows? Everything can get thrown for a loop here. Obviously, we lose all that correlation. Just feels like a weird draft. And yeah, when you might be just, I'm just so used to. Usually, I grab I just rarely start wide receiver this year because there's so many of those running backs that I kind of like that are available. And either I grab CMC very early or I grab one of those guys like in the early second. But I guess that's what it looks like here. I think one of the reasons why wide receiver becomes difficult is because you often are either having to overspend on the QB to get your stack or you're missing out on your stack. And then that's why this feels kind of ugly, but it is what it is. Chat, this was fun. Thank you, everyone. Dearness Johnson to the Jags. Yes. Oh, yeah. Wait. Okay. I saw Leone tweeted about Dearness Johnson, I think yesterday. So did this just come out? All right, Dearness Johnson to the Jaguars. We knew that we knew that the Jags were looking to get another running back. They said it. They didn't want Etienne to be their only guy. Dearness going there is kind of interesting. Honestly, probably pretty good news I think very good news, honestly, for Etienne, if that's the only person that they end up having over there. Gives us a little more confidence in Jerome Ford, maybe. Matthew Berry coming out of the combine was saying that the Browns were talking up Jerome Ford a lot out of Cleveland as that number 2 guy. He's having the special teams and maybe now going to actually get a bit more playing time as kind of the pass catcher to Chubb in that Hunt light role. We'll see. All right, thoughts. I'm going to go real quick on these last minute questions. I'll go from the top back up. So thoughts on Elijah Moore. Seems either getting Rodgers or getting traded. I'm very low on Elijah Moore right now. I think where he's being drafted is kind of based off that very small sample size talent that we saw from 2 years ago now, and kind of ignoring all the substantial risk that comes with him. Not to mention, you then have Rodgers coming in. We know Rodgers is a my guy kind of guy. We know Rodgers is hey, you need to run the route. I need to have confidence in you. Obviously, I have no idea what the mental or a head game of Elijah Moore is, but we know that there have been some challenges to get him on the field. And so that gives me pause for concern that, maybe he's not going to be able to build that level of rapport, confidence with Rodgers. If you're expecting it's going to be Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard, now you're trying to draft a wide receiver, a wide receiver that's not playing in 2 wide receiver sets in round 11. I don't love it. Not getting much of him. Do I think Shi Smith will make the team? If so, any impact since CJ is gone as a late dart throw? I haven't thought much about this at all, to be honest. I wouldn't, because I think you're betting on a maybe opportunity, and like this is one of those examples where like you're hoping for this opportunity when in reality the opportunity's not even there. Like I don't have confidence in Chai Smith from a talent perspective or from a breakout. So like think through like what is the best case scenario if you're drafting Chai Smith. Like yes, you can get uniqueness, but at the end of the day, if uniqueness means that you're the only person that's getting a 5 for 50 and a touchdown as the guy's top 5% outcome, like that's not winning you any tournaments. And to be honest, it's probably not like there's a chance that it may not even count on your score of 5 for 50 and a touchdown. What that is, 5, 6, 11 plus 2.5, like 13.5, like that's fine. But anyone else is going to be able to get you 8, 9, 10 as well. So maybe you miss out on him, but you get some, but the rest of your bad guys are still going to get you 2-3 points fewer. So I wouldn't be going for someone like that. I think someone like Laviska, we know by Laviska's actual like profile, the way he is a player, like he can break long ones, and maybe like he actually works his way into a larger role. That's how I kind of think through those two. I X'd out of it, so sorry, DC. I was not able to see your structure. Put it on Twitter, tag me, and when I get a chance, I will then review, give you kind of some thoughts there. Happy to do that. Last question from Jason before I roll out. Which QB do you think is currently the best value in underdog drafts? Let me take a look. And I can even tell you my exposure. That's probably a pretty indicative aspect. My top QB is Trey Lance. That's a fun one. Yeah, so Trey Lance is my top exposure. So I guess that's what I kind of feel. I haven't been drafting any Brandon Ayuk. A decent amount of Kittle. But it's not like I'm reaching for Lance from a stack perspective. I've got a lot of CMC, so I probably have a lot of CMC Trey Lance, and I kind of justify the stack aspect there. But for me, I think it's just like, hey, he is the number one QB going into the season. He's going to have more opportunities. We saw how good last round rookie was able to be in that system, even in the first playoff game, how many points he was able to put up. That now you're going to add a guy who was, a legit top draft pick. I don't know if legit. A very, very good talent. And then also the running floor and running upside. Like I think Trey Lance still has season breaking upside with where he's being drafted. So that's probably why I would say he's the best value. But besides that, I'm trying to think who I would consider. I think that's probably the only one I'm going to throw out there. I think everyone else is either being overdrafted or kind of fair. So hopefully that helps. Everyone, this is a long one. This is a fun one. This is a crazy one. This is a hectic one. I hope you were able to soak up that sweet, sweet, sweet EV from my poor streaming. Drafting 2 semi-elite tight ends. Oof! And a Tank Bigsby as a round over ADP. Not what you love to see, maybe what you guys love to see. All right. Have a blast. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you all next week. And who knows, if we still have some tournaments left, I will leave at least one of my 150 for us to draft together. Otherwise, we may have to find a new tournament. Have a great day. Talk to you all later. Let me hit that stream exit later.